We will call this December 10th Brown County Commission meeting to order. Commissioner Sutton, lead us in the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
First item on the agenda, we have the public hearing, Northwestern Energy renewal application for permission to maintain and erect the electrical lines on and along public highways of Brown County, South Dakota. And with us, we have a rep from Northwestern Energy, Robert.
Yeah.
I didn't quite remember your last name, but...
No problem. Good morning.
All right, good morning.
I'm a real estate representative in South Dakota, Nebraska. So I'm here to represent Northwestern this morning for the renewal of our electric franchise.
It's something that happens every 20 years, I understand.
Every 20 years.
Yeah.
That's correct. So it's interesting how all it works, but there's involves a state statute 3126. So the PUC signs electric territory, yet we still need to have these grants to be in public right away in each county. And then DOT still has permitting authority within the right-of-way along the highway. So it's really the layer of the PUC, these franchises, and the DOT permitting.
Good.
So this is just to renew that grant to be in the public right-of-way.
Remember the last time we did this? Be honest with you, I was.
And pretty big 20-year time frame. Is there ever variance as far as the grant agreement type thing in that 20 years? Because 20 years seems like a long time. Is there?
I've read through what our legal has put together as far as this resolution, and it really correlates with that state statute.
Okay.
So a lot of the items that are in the state statute are in this resolution that you'll be voting on today.
The agenda says lines on, you're not going to put them on the highway, are you?
No, that's
Has anyone ever said no?
no. You know, and the wonderful thing about working for a public utility is we all need it.
Yeah.
It's a rather significant investment.
Yeah,
It is. It's
You say
somewhat-
no, you're not going to get electricity to
Exactly.
your farm.
That's what I mean.
I have a map here if you guys want to take a look at it before you vote. But
That shows where the lines are.
it's just our transmission distribution lines. And keep in mind, again, this is just for our electrical lines,
Not gas.
not gas. Gas is franchised separately. So it's a little bit easier process than the electrical.
Sure.
I would move approval.
Second.
We have a motion by Kipley, a second by Pfeiffer to approve the renewal application for Northwestern Energy. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
This will
Thank
be
you.
recorded as a roll call resolution.
Yeah.
Make sure to keep all your expenses and get those to me. We'll reimburse you. In whole. So.
Expenses for,
The
Publication.
mailing.
oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Mailing.
I was like,
Try
I
to
got
mail-
all sorts of expenses. Where are you
Well, I think we
going?
mailed a packet with 16 of those maps at probably around $1.50 each to about
Okay.
16
We
different
don't-
utility
yeah.
companies.
Ironically, the only call I got was from New Star Energy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my phone blew up when I was out in Salt Lake City, but it's from Houston, Texas, and a call from Tulsa, Oklahoma. And they were the only ones that expressed any concern, and I explained it to them.
We don't often have people come to the table offering to pay for things.
Take full
So,
advantage.
when you get it all put together with your affidavit, just send an invoice and I'll get you paid.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks, Robert.
Thank you for making the trip.
See you in 20 years.
You hear?
Next item on the agenda, we have proposed lifting of the burn ban. I think we got adequate snow now, and I think I don't think we have to worry about too many fires. I realize it wasn't so much about the fires, it was about the transportation getting to that if somebody was burning, but with the snow cover, I think we're probably pretty well assured we shouldn't have too many fires, so.
I'll make a motion to lift the burn ban.
Second.
We have a motion by Sutton, second by Kipley to lift the burn ban effective today.
Today.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I guess we're right on target for... Next item on the agenda, we have Judy Josh, Building Superintendent, air conditioning for equipment room at the 124 building. Boy, Judy, you bought reinforcements. This is going to be a heavy topic, huh?
Yes.
Morning, everybody.
I probably can't answer all the questions.
Well, I understand we're looking at needing air conditioning for a room due to a lot of it was due to the new equipment that was put in. There's more of it, or larger equipment, is that my understanding?
Correct. Yeah, there's a secondary rack now that's installed in there for the new 911 system. So more power supplies, more backup UPSs in there, more heat generated. So the room's gets pretty warm in there. And it was fairly warm in there even during the summer without that equipment, and now we're adding that secondary stuff in there too. So something's gonna have to be done with that to keep that at a level where it can function properly, so.
And right now, I have just one of the doors open up there, but I pose another problem of getting moisture, so we'll have to be closing that, so. I got a couple quotes for getting an air conditioner in there.
So what type of air conditioner are we looking at putting in?
It'll be one that'll hang on the wall, and then you'll have a rooftop up in the roof.
Okay.
Kind of similar to what's down in the server room downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So where on this picture will the air conditioner be?
On that one wall right there.
With the paint dots?
Yep.
So you have quotes?
Yes, I do. I have a, one quote is from Climate Control. It'd be for $5,871. And my other quote is from Woodman Refrigeration for $5,173.
Same unit?
The usual part is we have two of them in our server room downstairs. There's one in our equipment room at the jail, one in our room at the state closet. But the problem is they run year round, so it's a special unit. Most air conditioners won't run when it gets below 30. These need to run year round because we generate a lot of heat. That equipment, I like to keep it around 75 degrees to keep it running correctly and dry. So.
Will that be something that'll come out of next year's budget or this year's budget?
I'm hoping to order it now so we can get it in there.
And it would come out of the buildings and grounds this year's budget?
I'm hoping that I get the unit this year, possibly labor I'll have to put out next year.
What's that, no?
I said hopefully the unit I'll get this year yet, because I don't think they'll have time, by the time the unit comes, to get it put up there. So probably the unit this year, and then they can put it in starting January, whatever. And they might be able to do it, just now that we're getting close to Christmas season, I don't know how many they have on.
So your recommendation what is your recommendation? I believe they're within a couple $100 of the bid.
Mm-hmm.
Or quote, I should say, not bid, it's a quote.
Yeah. There's like 5,100 to 5,800, so, yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept the Woodman proposal.
Second. Now, are we absolutely sure on that? This is the permanent home for all that equipment. There's nowhere else you're going to be moving it in 6 months a year and say, hey, we need that office space.
Not unless you move dispatch.
Okay, just want to make sure this is a permanent fix and not a...
And you wouldn't be able to put an office up there anyway.
Well, for a while, that was empty on the second floor, and there were discussions of what we could do.
Back in
just
that
in the
cage
equipment
area,
room.
do you remember, like on the second floor, there's the room up there, that's the cert room, and then there's an extra room there.
So when you go up the stairs to the right where we met for communication council.
And if you were to keep going
Straight.
keep going straight, there's another door there, you open up the door, that's basically where the storage rooms are.
Mhm.
And then back in there, a little further in the one corner is where all the server equipment is. And that's where it was housed when the building was with the previous occupants.
And statute says that equipment, because it's a 911 center, has to be locked at all times. That's why we can't just leave a door open and a fan in. has to be secured. So
Do
we,
you remember when you used to walk into, like we kind of said, like the chicken coop, because it had the wire on there? And there was another small room, that's where the stuff is.
Gotcha.
So right now, we just move the lock out toward the very first door, so that we can leave that, get the air from that, all that storage area, just to keep it kind of at a level where they're comfortable, but, you know, that lock needs to be pushed back eventually.
We have a motion from Sutton, we have a second from Kipley to accept the Whitman refrigeration, a low bid for the air conditioning on the communication computers. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Kathy, do you have that list of where the budgets are? Is one of these able to absorb?
I would probably say IT probably could,
Yeah,
not to
I
just
should-
volunteer you up, but you've got
no,
plenty
I
of
should be in
money.
good shape for that. 'Cause I think we're turning back around 60, 70 is the way.
Now,
it
I don't
is.
even know if this will be paid by the end
By
of the
then.
year. I mean, we're halfway through December.
Okay.
But I think the equipment will be here in time to pay for at least the equipment side of it.
And like any credit card purchases after today will be paid in January, so we're kind of just at year end.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. I wanted to take one moment too and introduce you guys to Sarah Jez back here too.
Sarah?
So Sarah's the new assistant director, so thought I'd bring her to one of these so she could kind of experience it a little
Yeah.
bit. So
Are you from here, Sarah?
I'm from Langford.
Langford.
Yep, I grew up in that area, a farm between Langford and Claremont, so,
That's the neighborhood.
yeah, I've been around forever.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
thanks everybody.
Yeah,
Thank you.
have a great
Thank you.
one. Merry Christmas.
Good day. That takes care of our agenda items. Kathy, you want to take care of the items you have there?
We have a general meeting minutes from December 3rd.
Move. Second. Moved by Weiss, second by Biker, to approve the general meeting minutes from December 3rd. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Claims and payroll.
Move. Second. Moved by Sutton, second by Weiss, to approve claims and payroll. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
HR report.
So move. Moved by Piker, second by Weiss, to approve the HR report. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Claim assignment.
Second. Moved by Kipley, second by Piker, to authorize chair to sign the claim assignment. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Joint powers agreement with DOT.
Move. Second. Moved by Sutton, second by Weiss, to authorize chair to sign the joint powers agreement with the DOT. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Memorandum of understanding with SDSU extension.
Move it.
Second. Moved by Kipley, second by Piker, to authorize chair to sign the memorandum of understanding with the South Dakota State University Extension Office. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all that we have, yeah.
Anything else in general for the commission?
I would motion for exec for legal and personnel.
And contracts?
Contract. Second.
I think all three.
Legal and contracts are the one, and then personnel.
Who was the motion?
Second. Moved by Kipley, second by Weiss, to go into exec for legal contracts and personnel. All in favor?
Aye.
Not an exec and no action as a result. The exec was for legal contract and personnel. Next, we have Scott Bader with Planning and Zoning, and you have a new employee by the name of Ron.
Ron Keller.
Yep. Ron Keller. Glad to have you, Ron.
Welcome aboard.
Good to meet you.
Kind of getting going. We're still waiting for programs to be installed and that kind of stuff, so.
Got computer and phone up and running, just not programs? Or where are we at with the office?
Well, first couple pages I have, like, my notes that I'm waiting on, and then I asked Ron and Nancy to put together what they're looking for yet. That isn't done, and then a series of emails back and forth that still waiting for stuff to be done. So I don't know if you guys want to have that on record, or look at it, or?
How long has this been requested, Scott? Has this been something since you moved downstairs that you're still waiting for?
Is it pretty much all to do with the move, or are there some things that are still carried on from prior?
Some stuff from prior. So,
Have you gotten a time frame of when they'll be over to do some of that?
not yet. So, like Ron, for example, our GIS is not set up for him, which has addressing program tied in with GIS, so he won't be able to help me with any addressing until that gets done. So I have him working on going through the drainage stuff that we got for the department, and he's creating a spreadsheet for some easements and stuff for reference. And then, like his door, he doesn't have a door release, Nancy doesn't have a door release, things like that, on the cameras. I was told several times that they can't do anything until the official okay is given by the sheriff's department. So then finally one day I just called and asked Mark, and he said he didn't know anything about it, so he called and told them they can hook up the camera for us. But, that was that simple.
So that was done?
No, not yet.
When was that spoken about?
It'd be in here.
Okay.
So, and,
Well, it sounded like there was a couple different departments that brought up the necessity of a deadline coming up for those addressing. Is that December 31st, or is that sooner, or has Mattson said anything to you about
I'm
it?
working on, all he says, he's gonna turn me into the commission, so I can only do so much.
Well, I think you've been on the email threads that have been going around as far as asking when we can expect certain information, and I haven't seen any responses from you, so I don't know if you're getting those, or if you're just not responding, or if you even know what's going on.
And I might have forgot on the last one to respond. And if that's what happened, then...
Because I think my exact response was, let's wait till Vader weighs in on this so we know what the timeline is, and I haven't heard any more that you've responded or responded.
I don't have a timeline for the commission. I'm working on the legal papers. That's also requested on the court case, and if you want me to do addressing first and put that aside, I can do that.
It doesn't sound like the legal requests have been all that extensive. Based on speaking with the state's attorney's office, they're pretty simple requests that should be able to just be easily provided.
I don't believe that. There's a lot of paperwork and copies. Ron's been helping me with that, so, it's not like we're running 20 pages or something.
The reason the addressing is an issue, as I understand it, was changing to the new system, and with the updates, they want that corrected information in when they do that.
With
What
the
am I-
Spillman update?
Right. And I guess that's one of the reasons that they feel it's urgency, that they'd like the address changes, so when they do this update, that stuff all gets entered in. That's my understanding of what...
I understand that. I worked 65 hours last week. I can only do so much. I don't know what else to say. If it's that important, we're still waiting for the GIS and addressing program 2.5 weeks that he's been here. For me to be able to show him and get started.
If commission's good with it, what we could do is just call IT and get on the schedule and let them know it's a priority. We gotta get the addressing on the computer so Ron can start on that stuff. Are you guys good with that?
Yep.
Because I'm sure they're working on updating Windows 10 and all that stuff, but this is something that is affecting dispatch, it's affecting GIS, so we'll just see when they can get into that office, hopefully it's today or tomorrow.
Ron, can I answer this, Paul?
Hey, Paul, I got you on speaker. You're with the commission? I was wondering...
Hang on just a second.
Yep.
We're gonna drill it in my street here.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. We were wondering if you could take a look at yours and your staff schedule to see if there's a time you can get down to planning and zoning. Ron's computer doesn't have GIS on it, and he needs that to work on addressing, which is affecting some other departments, and we got a deadline coming up. Is there a chance that you could look at your schedule and see when you can get there? The commission's been...
Ron has GIS on his computer. Scott Madsen sent several emails trying to line up a time to get over there and get Ron set up in the GIS program.
Okay, so is it a matter of we need a username, password, or...
Paul, is that true or not? We're being told that's not a true statement.
That's true. Let me see if I can put you on speaker. Madsen's in my office.
Okay. Did you get any emails from Madsen?
I was told from Paul that November,
Still there?
Yep, we're here.
Monday, November 25th, that he was gonna come over. That was Thanksgiving week. And I got an email on December 2nd. He was gonna come over on Tuesday, and then he called on Tuesday, which probably, I don't know what date that would have been.
Are you talking about me or Madsen? I can't hardly...
Madsen, I believe.
And
Is he
said
with
he
you?
had pink eye.
Yeah.
Okay, great. We're trying to figure out when the quickest time you can come over and get him logged in and going on that GIS is, so he can start working and helping out with those 911 addressing issues.
Yeah, the quickest time would be when he responds to the emails I say, requesting him to let me know when it would work to come over and do it. He's been given emails requesting that. The first week that Ron was here, I had pink eye, and I had to call Scott and tell him I couldn't come over because I was contagious with pink eye. As soon as I was non-contagious, I emailed him back twice since saying, let's reschedule this, let me know when it works, and he never replied. The only time I've heard from him since is when he called me and we got into a somewhat heated conversation about why he wasn't going to do the addressing, and his response to me at the end of that conversation was, I'll get around to it when I get around to it.
Okay.
The addressing will come back in the GIS.
Scott, what's your schedule look like this afternoon?
If it needs to be done this afternoon, I can do it this afternoon.
Are you guys available this afternoon?
Yes.
Let's set it up for 1 o'clock.
No, 2 o'clock I'll have to be at 1 o'clock.
Okay, sounds great. 2 o'clock down at the P&Z office. Thank you, guys.
You bet.
All right, so at least we'll get that
2
going.
o'clock. It'll get done.
So then hopefully you can kind of maybe walk him through a couple of those examples and teach him how to do the addressing and...
Well, I'm just telling the commission, I'm not lying. I go back and forth with them guys trying to get something done constantly, so...
Well, it's set up for 2 o'clock this afternoon, so you get...
For the GIS.
And you can work on the addressing part that is a critical part of the Spillman upgrade that's necessary. So we'll make that top priority so that gets done.
And then you can also make a list of the other things. I know there's been some emails from both sides going around. Okay. And just remind him of all the other stuff that you're waiting on.
I guess I'm wondering if, I think it'd be kind of nice if somebody else could be there other than just Scott and Ron. I mean, it'd be kind of nice if, you know, it just looks to me like,
Do you guys want to take this in person now?
I don't think we need to.
I think it's taken care of. Unless, did you guys need a personnel?
I can be there at 2 o'clock.
I think that'd be excellent. I wish I knew a little more about IT and all that stuff. I'd offer to be there. But I think somebody that's got a little better, somebody else needs to be there. I just don't...
I'll be there at 2 o'clock and watch what's going on and make sure things get done.
I think that's excellent.
The GIS program itself is loaded on his computer, but they have to basically attach to the main GIS program, and then it has to be set up with the addressing program my computer was the same way. I couldn't do anything until Scott set it up.
To access our own stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you.
That's all I really have.
Sounds good, and if there's other things, like I said, touch base with them and keep pushing on. I know they're getting pulled in a lot of different ways, but if there's things preventing you guys from doing your work in your department, we need to get on those too, so thank you.
Yep.
All right.
Nice to meet everyone.
Thank you. Take care,
Ron,
Ron.
welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Anything else to come before the commission this morning? I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Do a full hall jump on it. Moved by Fikert, second by Sutton to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.